mean, I think you hit the nail on the head that certainly in the SIBO space, honestly, like, they don't give two shits about diversity in the SIBO space.
Right,
and I don't care if we're
right.
talking about conventional medical world, who's just prescribing rifaximin or Xifaxan or metronidazole all day, every day, or the conventional dietetics world, where they're probably doing like low FODMAP or SCD or some restricted ass diet, or the functional medicine space, which maybe you're getting a bit of both. You're killing shit and you're starving it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those are the two biggest factors that are going to contribute to low or poor diversity is antibiotic use. And yes, we can still lump in antimicrobial herbs to some degree with that. Like, oregano doesn't get a free pass just because it's a natural compound. Like, natural things can still harm you, and they can do things that we don't want them to do if you're not smart about how you use them. So there's, antimicrobials or antibiotics and dietary restriction. Those are the two things that we know really, really strongly inhibit diversity. And then you're off to the races. You've got all sorts of other problems if you don't have a diverse gut. You might have started out with a simple case of SIBO. I'm using air quotes because it's never simple. But you might have started out with a straightforward case of SIBO, and now you lose diversity, and now you have candida and leaky gut and autoimmunity and inflammation and Lord knows what else. And it's this slippery slope where then people restrict more. Like, oh, now I have an autoimmune disease. Maybe I need to do AIP. Or maybe I need to do a stricter diet. Or I need to do food sensitivity testing. And it's like, you keep going down further and further down this rabbit hole until you have a pretty shoddy looking microbiome with hardly any diversity. Symptom management.
Yeah. I think, conventional RDs still have a strong foundation of nutrition. So they are going to be more aware of, how cutting foods affect the body, or at least that's kind of my understanding. Being an RD, like, we all value nutrition so much. I find that a lot of times when the attitude is like, starve the SIBO at all costs, like, you totally lose sight of nutrition with that person.
Yeah.
So I feel like for me, the conventional RDs are probably going to still think a broad and diverse diet as much as possible is the goal. Versus if the primary goal is, like what you're saying, starve the SIBO, but you're not necessarily looking at nutrition and how things are going to be affected through the process of trying to starve the SIBO. That's problematic. And I think you're right. Like, I think RDs understand that it's a therapy. It's not like a long-term thing. And I that's a huge miss and a huge mismanagement of the tool of low FODMAP is giving someone a handout and saying, like, do not eat these foods. I mean, I hear some awful messaging from some of the conventional and like integrative practitioners, which is like, you will never eat FODMAPs again. Like kind of these sorts of messages that I find are so extreme and just false. And it's not how you use low FODMAP, and it freaks people out so much. I mean, if I was told by a doctor that I couldn't have FODMAPs again, like, I don't know, that'd freak me out. So I just think because there's a lack of true understanding from a nutrition side of things and a lot of the functional, integrative, and even conventional space, if they're just like a doctor practitioner, and the goal is starving the SIBO, which I don't know how how that becomes a goal, but go ahead.
Finish your thought.
I think that's such a frustrating. It's such a frustrating mindset to get in and to put into the client or patient's head. That's just like, oh, I need to starve the SIBO, because I want almost 100% of the time, if someone starts to really hone in on that idea, it's hard to break them out of that mindset.
Oh, yes.
And then it's going to hinder diversity. Like, it's going to have all these downstream ramifications. And I don't think the practitioners are doing this intentionally, I don't think that they're necessarily thinking about the downstream effects that this could have.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah. Have some due diligence when you're going in for if you're sick or struggling with something. There is a time and a place, and I'd make sure that you're having an open dialogue with your practitioner. Mm-hmm. Like what you're saying. Hopefully they're better than the practitioner that you dealt with.
Kills me.
Right.
And if you are the nurse practitioner who I saw 3 years ago in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, I hope you learned the lesson from this. You never know.
I think she did. I think she's definitely listening to this.
She's definitely
because she cares so much about diversity. It sounds like.
Absolutely, this is right up her alley.
Right.
Oh,
gosh. But yeah, I think the antibiotics are huge, trying to limit that from a diversity standpoint. I think we've talked a lot about the diet side of things. And maybe we talk a little bit about, like, if you're coming from a place of like a restrictive diet, what kind of strategies to help to gradually increase diversity?
Yeah. Hey guys, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe, ring the bell, click the like button, and leave a comment down below with the videos that you would like to see me do next. Doing all of those really helps support the channel and support my efforts in making as many videos as possible for you guys. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.